As a big fan of someone who grew up with Perfect Dark and GoldenEye 64 when they were younger, today's news is really not what I was expecting to hear, especially with the quadruple A studio of the initiative. I would consider this to be really bad. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great one. Honestly, hope you're having a better time than the initiative is right now, because according to VGC that just dropped an article today, things aren't going so well. According to VGC's article, insiders describe fast and furious exits from Xbox's Perfect Dark studio, the initiative. As much as half of the core development team have quit in the past year. Initiative management says it's confident in its team. So here's the thing. The initiative was supposed to be, like I said earlier, this quadruple A studio, but things have not been going quite well, especially recently when the initiative decided to partner with Crystal Dynamics in putting out Perfect Dark completely. So I guess that was the idea of the initiative in the beginning, right? Just create the beginning stages of what the game would be and then have someone else finish off the game after the skeleton and everything else has been pretty much laid out, and they just finalize everything else and move on to the next project. Now, usually, in my opinion, you're going to have some departures here and there, but it's not just a few departures from the initiative. This is a massive amount of people and major team leads. Xbox's The Initiative Studio has seen a fast and furious wave of senior departures in the past 12 months, VGC has learned. As much as half of the core development team known to be working on the upcoming Perfect Dark reboot quit the company during the last year, or around 34 people, analysis of employee LinkedIn profiles have revealed. That includes most of the initiative's senior design team, including game director Dan Newberger, design director Drew Murray, lead level designer Chris O'Neill, principal world builder Jolyn Myers, 2 senior systems designers, a group of 3 or 4 God of War designers, and more. And the turnover of top talent doesn't end in design. Perfect Dark's 2 most senior writers also recently quit. Analysis shows, along with the project's technical director, tech art director, lead gameplay engineer, lead animator, QA lead, and more. According to LinkedIn, the initiative is now less than 50 people when duplicates, former employees, and erroneous listings are removed, and currently has just 3 roles advertised on its website. Analysis suggests it hired around 12 people in the past 12 months. My immediate reaction to all of this is, what the heck is going on at this studio? You're always going to have some fallout of people either leaving mid-project, post-project, or pre-project. That's unfortunately normal in this industry right now. I would like to have people stay at a company for a very long time, because when you have those people stay and they understand the games or anything like that, they're able to help create and do better every single iteration of that series of games. Obsidian would be the first thing that comes to my mind, because every time they touch an RPG, it's honestly gold, because everybody there has been making RPGs for the very longest time. But there isn't any way to truly damage control this. We're talking about a huge number of leads and directors, people that actually steer the ship for this game to try and get it out to ship and actually have it done and complete. And when you keep reading what VGC has wrote, it gets even more concerning. The timing of the departures coincides with September 2021 announcement that Crystal Dynamics has been signed to co-develop Perfect Dark. This, combined with the few job roles currently advertised at the initiative, suggests that the Tomb Raider developer is likely taking a much stronger lead than first thought on the project. Interviews with multiple former senior developers cited a lack of creative autonomy and slow development progress as the reason for their departures, and described the wave of exits as fast and furious, with project momentum said to be heavily affected. The initiative's management told VGC it's confident in the team it has in place and new talent joining, and pointed to industry-wide staffing challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. That truly is just them trying to gussy things up as if everything is okay, putting a band-aid on a broken leg. What we're seeing is massive issues of delays of actual things trying to get done with this game. Now, of course, I do not work at the initiative. I can only read what is there from VGC, but the writing is pretty clear, and what we're seeing is pretty apparent. There seems to be a lack of true leadership and direction at the initiative, and it's frustrating a lot of people because they want to do a project, they want to get things done, and things aren't actually moving forward. Then hiring Crystal Dynamics to do the rest of the work, or even take a bigger role in it, pretty much upset a lot of people. Maybe they were thinking, well, if they're doing this work, why am I even here? What's going to happen to me if they take over my role? You're basically training your replacement is what it sounds like to me. It's no small task to build a studio and reinvent a beloved franchise, studio head Darrell Gallagher told VGC. In creating the initiative, we set out to leverage co-development partnerships to achieve our ambitions, and we're really excited about all the progress we're seeing with our relationship with Crystal Dynamics. In this journey, it's not uncommon for there to be staffing changes, especially during the time of global upheaval over the last 2 years, and there's plenty more work in front of us to deliver a fantastic Perfect Dark experience to our players. We wish all our former colleagues the very best, and I'm confident in the team we have in place, the new talent joining, and we can't wait to share more with the fans. In the games industry, competition for experienced talent is at an all-time high following pandemic-fueled gaming boom. And unhappy initiative staff would likely have had plenty of alternative employment opportunities at the large number of neighboring AAA studios in California. And this is what I think truly is the problem. The initiative is not structured in a way for people to truly sit and say, this is where I want to work, this is where I want to be, when you have so many other opportunities available for you that if you don't have your ship right in the first place, if leadership isn't having a clear goal and direction, and you're not in that boat with leadership, things are going to go awry. And to be honest, I think that's the big issue that we're seeing here, is that there seems to be some sort of disconnect and some sort of lack of ability to keep employees there at the initiative for whatever reason, honestly, because we honestly don't know. The former initiative developers VGC spoke to attributed the wave of departures to frustration among senior talent over the direction of the project set down by Gallagher and game director Daniel Neuenberger, who himself left the company last month. Although the initiative's website claims that the company promotes a collaborative creative environment, former employees describe the studio's development hierarchy as very top-down, with Gallagher and Neuberger keeping a strong grasp on creative decisions. According to the former employees, many senior team members were frustrated by this perceived lack of autonomy and didn't feel heard on key issues such as development priorities, project planning, and team staffing. Gallagher and Neuberger, who were previously studio head and game director of Crystal Dynamics, wanted to make games the way they always had, with top-down direction, the sources said, while many initiative employees were expecting a more bottom-up approach. As a result, it's claimed that development has progressed painfully slowly, and a solid company culture never formed. All former employees VGC spoke to said they were surprised at how lenient Microsoft had been over the lack of progress. One person said, making games is hard enough, let alone when you feel like you can't get through to the people making the decisions that affect everyone. The culture issue was partly behind the decision to bring on board Crystal Dynamics, it's claimed, with Gallagher and Neuberger allegedly hoping that production would move more smoothly with the introduction of a second team familiar with their methods. So yeah, it looks like my guess was actually correct. Many people were trying to basically train their replacements from what it looked like, and having those lead developers and directors not listen from a bottom-up approach, with the true issue having to be the culture being formed and how the employees wanted things to be working depending upon how the decision makers wanted to do things. The top-down approach does work sometimes, but only if the entire team is on board with that approach. Guess what happens? Unhappy employees means an unproductive environment. With a booming AAA set of studios right around the corner, it's time to find something new, especially if the project you're working on isn't going the direction that you want or is going painfully slowly and the work you're doing isn't being noticed or even completed. It seems to be that was more the bigger frustration going on here, and this truly can be a big blow to Microsoft, especially when you look at the massive list of people that were actually leaving the initiative. It's not just a few people here and there. This is a huge number of people. I mean, just check this list out right here. You have such a huge list of people just leaving the entire company completely. Everything from the design team all the way down to even the writers just leaving completely. Programming just off the way, just going somewhere else. Production leaving. A lot of art people leaving as well. This whole thing is not good, and having this amount of people just not actually stay with the company is, one, not a good sign for new hires trying to fill in that new blood in the area and actually build that culture back up, but two, causes a major delay with Perfect Dark in general. Now for me, this whole thing truly reeks of the fact that there is a lack of leadership within Microsoft Studios. We're seeing the same thing with 343, where there is just no direction, no communication, no roadmap, nothing to actually help keep Halo Infinite afloat or even alive. The game is on literal life support, needed a whole other year in the oven, and nothing has been done since its release. And yet here we are seeing the same thing happen again to the initiative, where things are being frustrated, people are leaving, no one's completing tasks or projects, culture is at an all-time low. And here is the crux of the issue. What is truly going to happen if Microsoft does not intervene in something like the initiative? Things have to be fixed and adjusted, because if changes aren't made and things keep this way, what is that actual studio going to do? This is a ground up studio from Microsoft directly. If they don't nurture this and they don't take care of this, it's going to show how they truly run studios. You could truly make the meme of, this is why Microsoft is buying all these other studios up that are already pre-built. They've got all their culture, they've got everything they need, we'll make them autonomous, they leave them alone, and they just build whatever they want and they go that route. That may be truly the best way for Microsoft to operate. They may not have the leadership chops in order to do something like what Sony does from the ground up. Now, granted, I know Sony has bought other studios as well, but you also see a lot of studios that are being brought up directly from Sony internally that do fantastic types of games. But anyways, y'all, let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Do you think this is a blow to Microsoft? Do you think this is an issue that they need to work through? Or do you think that this is actually being overblown and overhyped? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your feedback and your ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.